p.m. Resolution number 1, acceptance of agenda. I will be removing resolution number 2. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. O'Bates, second by Linda. Resolved that the Board of Education accepts and approves the agenda with any additions or deletions. All in favor?
So are we adding the?
We're deleting with resolution number 2.
Okay.
Tabling it till next.
No, already deleting it.
Delete?
Yeah.
You deleting it?
We're deleting it off this agenda. If we need to add it to the next agenda, we will.
When would you add it? Because it said that it's supposed to start by April 2nd. So,
Only if approved by the board.
I don't know.
Yeah. Want to discuss it further before we vote on it? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we accept any agenda, let's do a roll call of members. Sorry about that. Ms. Hall?
Is it?
Mr. Wade?
Here.
Watson? Absent. Victor?
Present.
Yahim? Hamid?
Present.
Linda?
Here.
Okay. 6, 1 absent. All right, again, acceptance of agenda. I'll be removing or deleting resolution number 2 off the agenda. Can I get a motion again?
Motion.
Motion, I heard Victor and then Mr. Wade. Resolved that the Board of Education accepts and approves the agenda with any additions or deletions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 6 ayes, 1 absent. All right, we have some report, actually recognitions. March is reading month, so Hamtramck Public School District celebrate March as Reading Month, recognizing the power of literacy in shaping our students' future. We encourage everyone to embrace the joy of reading, explore the new stories, and support literacy efforts that inspire lifelong learnings. Together, let's continue to make March a month of growth and discovery through readings. And then I'd like to acknowledge Ramadan. Warmest greetings to all students, staff, and members of our community observing the sacred time. Ramadan is a month dedicated to reflection, gratitude, and unity. Characterized by fasting, prayer, and act of kindness, we sincerely acknowledge and admire the commitment and resilience of those who continue to excel, whether engaging in school learning, teaching, working from home, or contributing other ways. May this holy month bring peace, joy, and spiritual fulfillment to everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. All right. Resolution number 2, awarding of bids for HPS H12 room renovations. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Victor, second by Mr. Obaid. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby award the bid for toilet room renovation at Hamtramck High School as follow. Any discussion? We have someone here to present.
Yeah, actually, thank you. We have Mike from Frank Rewald and Joe from Arisman Architects, and they actually have a short presentation up on the screen. So if you guys would come up, please.
Do I need to touch something here?
Yeah, push that so it's ready.
That'd be great.
There you go.
Hello, board, how is everybody today? My name is Joe Kinjemi. I'm a senior project manager with Arisman Architects, and we've been asked by the Board of Education to put together a package to renovate the high school restrooms, and I have some images and a short little presentation to show you of how we got here and what we're looking to accomplish. So, some time ago this winter, I'm going to say, the cast iron on the second floor urinals had eroded away to such a point that it caused a leak, and that leak caused significant damage to the ceiling of the first floor, as you can see by the image in the center at the top there. So that is the first floor restroom. The liquid eroded away, and the plaster ceiling fell down. So in an effort to correct that, we were asked to come in and look at some ways to renovate and update the restroom. So the other images that you see here are the first floor and second floor restrooms. As you can see, this space is likely original to the building. You know, this building was built in 1930, so we're looking at, 90-year-old infrastructure. This is the girls' restroom. Yeah, I'm sorry?
I said much better.
Yeah, there's not as much damage in the girls' restroom there. So then this, what we're looking at here is a single-use restroom. It's off the end of the corridor adjacent to the auditorium. And it's currently labeled boys' restroom. And again, we're looking at 90-year-old infrastructure. You can see water leaking from the urinal along the sides there, leading to the center drain there. And then this one here is opposite, similar area of the building, but on the opposite hallway leading to the auditorium. And you can see it's similar feel, dated fixtures, etc. To get some design inspiration for the new restroom, we looked at clues from around the building. This is a very historic 1930s Art Deco building with very beautiful mosaic tile that we are trying to mimic and imitate so that our new design fits with the context of the existing building. That there's, the hope is, although everything's going to be new, you wouldn't know that this building, or the renovation, doesn't fit with the existing context of the building. So our designs include this exact mosaic 1x2 pattern. We did our best to sample colors that are similar. Obviously, they're not available, so we did our best matching, etc. So here's our floor plan design. The two center images, the top one is the girls' restroom, and the bottom one there is the boys' restroom. And as you can see, we're trying to do a insert. Currently, the floor is a mosaic, well, not a mosaic. Current floor is a terrazzo that we're putting a mosaic over the top of with that inspiration that we pulled from around the building. And as you can see, we're utilizing some of the context from the historic parts of the building where we're doing some of the chair rail and some of the interesting detail for the wall. So all the walls in all the restrooms would be the same, and as you can see, it's this part right here, this upper left. It's gonna wrap all the way around. We're gonna have a mosaic with a chair rail at the top and a nice base. Then we have the floor here, and you can see that, we have these inserts, every 12 inches or 2 feet on center. These inserts are going to be inserted, and we're calling this the carpet area. And then we have the two alternate spaces, which were the single-use restrooms identified here, which is a smaller space, just shy of 100 square feet, so we weren't able to do as much intricate tile work, but very similar feel, similar materials, walls will look the same. Here is our design elevations. You can look through and you can see all of the various components. So we are utilizing stalls with a partition, a wall partition to partition off, and then new urinals with screens, and then also a wash fountain for an area for hand washing. And then I do have our sample board here, which is, I did bring all the samples. If you are interested, you want to pass them around or come up and look at them, but you get a general sense of the material palette that we intend on using for the restroom project. So in summary, that's what we're looking at accomplishing here at the high school, about 1,100 square feet in total, about 400 boys and girls, first and second floor, and then we have 100 square feet each of the additional single-use restrooms that obviously have some needs as well.
Well, all of this will be completed over summer, correct?
That is it, yep.
And how many bathrooms?
So it is 2 boys and 2 girls gang restrooms, and then we're calling it single-use restrooms. So it can be utilized by either sex, so, single one person use that.
And there's 2 of those.
There's 2 of those.
Okay. Can you pass that around, please?
The materials?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd just add that the funding for this is coming from 12D funding that the district received in the school aid package. That was funding that was from Representative Ayash, recognized the district and provided us funding for these specific purposes, renovation and construction. And, you know, we looked at the high school, we knew that it was leaking from the second floor to the first floor. It was a big concern, and that was one of the priorities that we made with this funding. And the other thing is, so we looked at, the base bid was the 625, and it also has allowances of 130. We added the 2 single-use bathrooms to this because we're doing the pipes anyway down the basement. So it just made sense to continue the work to do the single-use bathrooms. Then also we're putting in, another alternate is the bait detectors that we're putting into the bathrooms.
Sorry, so for these colors, was that like an initiative, like on your own, or was that like kind of something that was talked about?
It was a committee for sure. We met with Jim and Bruce and some of the building
Okay.
officials and showed the palette and got approval and feedback.
Yeah, that I'd also say so when we met with students to get priorities for the high school projects, I mean, the first thing they said were the bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the highest priority for them. I mean, if you
And
looked
we
at
had-
the first picture, you could sort of understand why.
We had parents here this year.
Yes,
Speaking in
true.
the boardroom about them, so.
And for the bathroom stalls, excuse me, for the stalls, is it gonna be the same number of stalls, it's just gonna be replaced, or are we gonna add more like?
So it is a full redesign of the space. Currently, there's some old toilets that were in place, but because of free code and things along those lines, some stalls have been renovated, and now we're making them larger. So we are losing a stall, although they don't exist currently.
Right.
But now everything is gonna meet barrier free. We'll have the proper access, and it'll be all brand new plumbing from the mains and the basement tunnels all the way up through the second floor. So everything from there up is gonna be brand new.
Okay.
Good. So, from A to Z.
I mean,
Yeah.
just, I hope that everything goes smoothly, it's just, the only thing I worry about is if there is a problem that they haven't anticipated, will that cut into essentially school starting time, around September? Not
So,
to say that it won't,
yes, go ahead, Mike.
Good. I think the biggest thing, you have to realize this is a renovation project. This is a 100-year-old building, right? So there are surprises, there are potential surprises. We try to, if you look at the contract recs, there's a contingency in there and things. So we try to put some monies in there to account for those. And if that money's not spent, it's not spent. But if there is need for it, then we have some monies available to, hey, this, for example, when you have to take the piping out from behind this wall, you don't really know what that wall's built of right now. So we may have some things. So the biggest fear for us is more cost than it is time. So.
Oh, really? Okay,
So,
all right.
because of the nature of the project, we understand it very well what's gotta happen. It's just those surprises, okay, now we have to do this little bit of extra this, and it's gonna cost more than that. But the time-wise, the summer timeframe, the way we put it together should not be a problem.
Okay.
The biggest part of the work is the tile company. And the tile company, we've vetted them quite well. They're on a very, very large project right now that they've performed very, very well on. So that's really the meat and potatoes of this project, is the tile work.
Well, and some of the work right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is already being performed at the high school because you're doing the HVAC projects, so you're doing some of the asbestos work down in the basement. We're So the high school is gonna be totally shut down this year because we're doing the HVAC, we're draining the pool, replacing tiles. We're putting the dehumidifying unit into the pool, so that will help with the pool. Doing the elevator, we're doing the bathrooms. Did I miss anything? That's-
Well, the HVAC project is a very large thing, right? So there's a lot of things happening. Stuff, upgrading the electrical service, I think today's agenda, you have DTE, I
Yes.
think, on
Yeah.
there. You know, so the whole electrical service for the high school is being upgraded. To do the new HVAC work, you have to upgrade the electrical to service that. So there's a lot happening, but as far as this project goes, you know, again, because we're working on all these other things, like down in the tunnels right now, where it doesn't bother the students, right? So the people are gonna be able to go down there, measure up, get things figured out before school's over. I mean, we're not gonna shut down the toilet rooms until school's done, but we can do a lot of planning and, you know,
Okay.
that kind of
All right.
stuff.
A lot of planning, getting material here, sometimes that takes the longest, is getting
Yeah,
material.
And that's why we wanna make sure, you know, we're doing this in March and not in May, right?
Exactly,
Because
exactly.
we wanna
Okay.
make sure that
All right.
stuff is right.
Yeah, and this was sort of on the fast track once, you know, first of all, once we received the funding, but then also we were talking about prioritizing projects. You know, as the president said, we had parents that were complaining about the bathrooms for good reason. I mean, we checked them out and they do leak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
bad.
became a priority, so.
Into the timing point, we took considered amount of time on our behalf as part of the design to take that into consideration. So we're not actually demoing the restroom all the way back to, we're gonna call it studs or the existing
Right.
framing. We're actually building walls in front of these. We're gonna lose, you know, a few inches here and there, but we're building all new walls and things so that we're not disrupting, you know, the infrastructure behind. Because once you start that demo, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
So we're utilizing the existing space as we see it, so we can construct within that palette to speed up the process so that our unknowns are, you know, to Mike's point, you know,
Minimize.
may minimize as much as possible.
Okay.
The other thing they've done is they've worked well with the tile company, right? This type of tile is not off the shelf, readily available, so the tile company's on board, knowing that this has to be delivered on time and all of those types of things. So there's a lot of,
Nice.
it should be a successful project timing.
Actually excited to see it.
Uh,
Can't wait.
We
Wish you
should-
guys the best. Any more questions?
Nope. Not for me.
All right, Ms. Hall, Mr. O'Gean,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Victor,
Aye.
Wade.
Aye.
All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries.
Jim, can I ask you a question? Is that for all the alternates? and
Yes.
the
Yes.
base?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
All right, resolution number 3, award of bid for Kona Building for HVAC. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I heard Victor, second by Linda. Result of the Board of Education does hereby award the bid of the HPS Kona Building remodel as follows. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Resolution number 4, approval of DTE service work at HHS. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Gaines, second by Mr. Obey. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the installation of the 3-phase electric work at 11410 Cherry Street for primary to secondary business, including the new line extension, total cost not to exceed $1,022,452.75. $122,452.75. All in favor?
That's only for the high school or
Okay.
the CG too?
This is just for the high school.
And Mike's
The
here, he
HVAC.
can
What? Okay.
For the HVAC, it's gonna be
Is the
done.
funding from, I guess, the same one as the bathroom, or is this from like a different funding?
This would be probably sinking fund.
Okay.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries.
So let me explain sinking fund. So the sinking fund, we don't have an existing fund, but we still have funds left in the sinking fund, so we're using those.
All right, resolution number 5, approval of consent items. Can I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Hall, second by Victor. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the following items under the consent agenda, items A through C. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 6 ayes, 1 absent, motion carries. Audience participation. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions or comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and question under advisement, and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer question to the superintendent for research or response. Person wishing to address the board of education must complete an audience participation form and submit it to the board president before the meeting starts. Form must be filled out completely to be accepted. Do we have any?
I have one from Priest Comer.
Come on up.
Hi. Oh,
Press the button.
is it working?
Press it.
Press a button.
Until it turns red.
Okay, it didn't turn red. It started
No.
doing green.
Can you move
Green.
the, can you move the next seat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Shuffle.
And now press it.
Okay, it's green.
No.
No? It's not
See,
working.
no.
I guess
No.
use your teacher voice, I guess.
Right?
There you
Okay.
go.
Well, you know I got
I know.
I done took your child skiing and all kinds of other stuff. Okay, good evening, my name is Therese Comer, I'm a 6th grade teacher at Dickinson West, and I've been in the Hamtramck district since 2009. I'm just gonna kind of cut to the chase, basically. If you bought a car, a new car or a new home, you would have it inspected, right? You would make sure that it was running, but you wouldn't just show up. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Keep going.
All right, running an entire school district is more than showing up for special occasions, a couple here and there. It is definitely more than a monthly meeting. I think that you would benefit from what I would call a mindset change, a shift in mindset, understanding that there's more to it than just these meetings, and a couple of times a year you come into the school. I think that sometimes people are coming up here and they're not telling everything, or they're not necessarily even telling the truth. And then sometimes you find out later that there were things you didn't know, you weren't aware of. So my suggestion would be, start coming in and start looking around. Kick the tires, as they say. Because you don't want what has happened previously, where somebody's coming in that actually does an inspection and says, oh, by the way, all this is wrong, all this isn't real, or whatever it is. Second, we've asked, teachers and staff have asked for organizational charts of the building, of the districts. And I kind of don't understand when you are approving new hires and things, how if you don't have a map of who's here, of who's doing what, you could just say, yeah, we're gonna hire that person to do whatever. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it, and I've stopped asking. And this is not the first, not even the second, it's probably the third administration where we have asked for some type of organizational chart so we know who's where, who's doing what. If I have a question about this or that, who do I go to? We still haven't gotten it, I'm not asking anymore, okay, but maybe you should, okay? Also, it might be a good idea to reflect on your political beliefs and personal beliefs and how they show up in the policy of your decision making. For example, I don't know what you are like, what your personal things are, but they do tend to bleed over into policy, okay? So for example, let's say you I'm not saying you all, but in some cases people are anti-black, they might be anti-gay, anti-trans, and you have students and staff that fit those categories. So what you're doing here does affect that. So if there's something that you've got going on, you may wanna deal with that, so you are treating all the students fairly, because that's what I do every day. My students, some of them are different than me, but I treat them like they're my own children, like I would want my children to be treated. So it would be great if that's an issue for you, you handle that. Or take it out of when you are decision making. If you are a person who's against unions and collective bargaining, okay, same thing. You're dealing with teachers who have a union and other people that have unions. So again, we need to take that and remove that out of the decision-making process. Finally, all parents in this district, because we've had somebody say that certain groups of people don't care about their kids or don't take care of them or whatever it is, not you guys per se, but people who have sat in those seats previously. Anyway, they are loved, whether they're from low-income homes, they're unhoused, whether they're immigrants, whether their kids are LGBTQ. We all love our kids, okay? We want the best, so none of them are different from any of you. So always remember the truth will out.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. All right, any more business to conduct? All right, regular meeting adjourned at 4:25. Thank you all for coming.